Are you a burnout drinker? Or maybe you're a stress drinker, maybe an overwhelm drinker, maybe an exhausted at the end of the day drinker? Whichever type that you may think you are, what you're looking for ultimately is a reprieve, a break, a silence in the noise of your day. And you're looking for it in the wrong place. When you're drinking alcohol, an element of that burnout, stress, overwhelm, anxiety is coming from drinking alcohol itself. That's why it's a vicious cycle. It wouldn't be a cycle if it was linear. It's a cycle because alcohol causes a degree of the feelings that you're feeling. And then you go to it to try to escape the thing that it's caused. And it's a vicious cycle. It's a cycle of seeking relief. It's a cycle of seeking escape. Now, you might call that escape fun. You might call it an alleviation. You may call it relaxing. Nevertheless, it is an escape. But you're trying to escape the prison that is developed and established by the very thing itself. Drinking alcohol when you feel that you are close to burnout is going to have a detrimental effect on everything around the way you are feeling. It's likely to speed up your entry into burnout phase. It's going to slow down your recovery. It's going to make you feel worse about yourself mentally because there's guilt and there's shame, waking up in the morning saying, right, I'm not going to drink again today, struggling into work, struggling onto your PC for the work at home, and then finding yourself exhausted at the end of the day and even more burnt out. So what do you do when you find yourself in this scenario of being in a cycle of daily drinking to try to escape the feelings to do with burnout and stress and overwhelm and anxiety that are so common for high-performing people in the workplace? The first thing to do is to recognize that this is happening, that there is a cycle. So I invite you to be curious. Is there a cycle here where I say I'm not going to do it and then I find myself doing it, where I actually look to alcohol to find some alleviation in the noise and in the stress and those feelings that have accompanied me through the day thus far? So that recognition is always the first thing for any change, because otherwise we're living in ignorance or ignore. It is being ignored, unaware. And so what you're bringing here is awareness to the problem. And that is the first thing with any problem, is to just be aware that something's going on here that is unwanted and is repetitive. The second thing is some self-compassion. That will immediately make you feel better and that there is nothing wrong with you. That understanding, take it from me, if not from yourself at this point, that there's nothing wrong with you for having feelings of stress, having feelings of anxiety, feeling burnt out and being overwhelmed. There's nothing wrong with you for having those feelings. There's nothing wrong with you for reaching for alcohol to help alleviate with those feelings. And so taking the sting out of it, stopping the self-blame right here, right now, by giving some compassion to yourself. We're often very good at giving compassion to other people. This is about compassion for you. So the first two things to help you with burnout drinking, stress drinking, anxiety drinking, and overwhelm drinking are: number one, be aware that it's a cycle and that you're caught in that cycle, like being caught in a tornado or a typhoon, and that you want to get out. And the second thing is to understand that it is not your fault, that you're not impaired, that there's nothing wrong with you for responding to life and all of these things in a way that is human. Stay tuned for parts 3 and part 4, where I give you some more tips and techniques on what to do for burnout drinking, stress drinking, anxiety drinking, and overwhelm drinking. Stay tuned.